Why Pernell Roberts didn't go to Dan Blocker's funeral. Dan Blocker, best known for his iconic role as Hoss Cartwright on the long-running television series Bonanza, remains one of the most beloved figures in the history of American television. Born Bobby Dan Davis Blocker on December 10, 1928, in DeKalb, Texas, he grew up in the small town of O'Donnell, Texas, where he developed a love for the simple pleasures of rural life. Despite his imposing size, Blocker was 64 and weighed around 300 pounds. He was known for his gentle demeanor and warm, easygoing nature, qualities that would later endear him to millions of television viewers. Blocker's early life was deeply rooted in the traditions and culture of the Texas countryside. Raised during the Great Depression, he experienced the hardships and values of a farming family, learning the importance of hard work and resilience from a young age. These qualities stayed with him throughout his life and later influenced the strong, dependable characters he portrayed on screen. Blocker attended Texas Military Institute, which further instilled discipline and a sense of responsibility in him. His education continued at Sul-Ross State University, where he initially pursued a career in education, earning a degree in speech and drama. He even went on to earn a master's degree, planning to become a teacher before Hollywood beckoned. Before he found fame, Blocker taught high school and worked as a rodeo performer. His imposing physique made him a natural fit for tough guy roles when he decided to try his hand at acting. He began his career in television in the 1950s, appearing in minor roles on popular shows like Gunsmoke, The Rifleman, and Have Gun, Will Travel. These early roles helped him hone his craft and build a reputation as a capable actor, though they were largely unremarkable compared to what was to come. In 1959, Blocker was cast in Bonanza, the role that would change his life and cement his place in TV history. Blocker's portrayal of the lovable, soft-hearted Hoss Cartwright on Bonanza made him a household name. Bonanza was a groundbreaking Western drama, one of the first television series to be filmed in color and also one of the longest-running primetime series in television history, airing from 1959 to 1973. The show's success was in no small part due to Blocker's portrayal of Hoss, a gentle giant who was fiercely loyal to his family and possessed a childlike innocence. His warmth, humor, and the deep humanity he brought to the character resonated with audiences, making Hoss one of the most beloved characters on television. Blocker's performance was critically acclaimed, and he became a fan favorite, known for both his comedic timing and his ability to bring depth to the character. Off-screen, Dan Blocker was much like the character he portrayed, kind, down-to-earth, and deeply devoted to his family. He married his college sweetheart, Dolphia Parker, in 1952, and together they had 4 children. Despite the fame and fortune that came with Bonanza, Blocker remained humble and focused on his family, preferring to spend his free time away from the Hollywood spotlight. He was known for his charitable work and his support of various causes, including efforts to improve education and assist underprivileged children. Blocker's family values and commitment to his loved ones mirrored those of Hoss, and his personal integrity made him a respected figure in the entertainment industry. The death of actor Dan Blocker, who portrayed the beloved character Hoss Cartwright on the iconic television series Bonanza, sent shockwaves through Hollywood and deeply affected his fans and colleagues. Blocker passed away unexpectedly on May 13, 1972, due to complications following gallbladder surgery. His sudden death was not only a personal tragedy for his family but also marked a profound loss for the Bonanza cast and crew, who had grown incredibly close over the years of working together on the show. One notable absence at Blocker's funeral, however, was his Bonanza co-star Pernell Roberts, who had played his older brother, Adam Cartwright, on the series. Roberts' decision not to attend Blocker's funeral raised eyebrows and led to much speculation. But the reasons behind his absence are complex and reveal the intricate relationship Roberts had with both Blocker and the Bonanza experience. To understand why Pernell Roberts didn't attend Dan Blocker's funeral, it's important to first examine the nature of his departure from Bonanza. Roberts had left the series in 1965, after 6 seasons, due to growing dissatisfaction with the direction of the show. Though Bonanza was highly successful, Roberts felt creatively stifled by the limitations of his role and the show's family dynamic. He also objected to what he perceived as the lack of social relevance in the show's scripts, especially at a time when America was grappling with issues like civil rights and the Vietnam War. He was outspoken about wanting more depth for his character, Adam Cartwright, and more challenging material overall. Additionally, Roberts had philosophical differences with the way the Cartwrights were depicted as patriarchal figures of authority on the Ponderosa Ranch. These creative tensions ultimately led him to leave Bonanza and pursue other acting opportunities. Roberts' exit was amicable but marked a certain level of estrangement between him and the cast, especially Blocker. While Blocker, Michael Landon, and Lorne Greene remained close as they continued to work together on the series, Roberts distanced himself from the show and its legacy. He famously expressed little nostalgia for his time on Bonanza, despite its cultural significance. This distance may have played a key role in his decision not to attend Blocker's funeral, as Roberts had largely moved on from the world of Bonanza and its associated relationships. Pernell Roberts' relationship with Dan Blocker was more complicated than that of simple co-workers. While Blocker was well liked by his peers and known for his easygoing, jovial nature, Roberts was often described as more intense and introspective. Their differing personalities may have led to some tension on set, though there are no reports of any overt hostility between them. Roberts was a classically trained actor with strong convictions about his craft, while Blocker, though talented, did not have the same level of theatrical experience and was more relaxed in his approach to acting. This contrast in attitudes may have created a subtle divide between the two. However, they were professionals who respected one another, and their on-screen chemistry as brothers was undeniable. Roberts' decision to leave Bonanza likely widened this divide. Blocker and the remaining cast members continued working on the show for several more years, and the camaraderie they shared deepened. Blocker was known for his loyalty and dedication to the series, and his bond with Lorne Greene and Michael Landon grew stronger after Roberts' departure. For Roberts, his relationship with Bonanza became a part of his past, whereas Blocker remained a central figure in the Bonanza family until his untimely death. Pernell Roberts was a private man who shunned public displays of emotion and sentimentality, especially when it came to Hollywood's sometimes theatrical mourning rituals. Blocker's funeral, like many high-profile funerals of celebrities, was expected to be a large and emotional event. Roberts, who had long expressed disdain for what he viewed as superficial aspects of the entertainment industry, may have found the prospect of attending a celebrity funeral uncomfortable or even disingenuous. He was not one to participate in events simply for the sake of maintaining appearances, and this attitude likely influenced his decision to stay away. Roberts had also famously expressed that he did not enjoy being part of the Hollywood system, and it's possible that attending the funeral of such a public figure, surrounded by industry colleagues and media attention, was something he wished to avoid. He may have felt that paying his respects in private, away from the spectacle of a public funeral, was more in line with his personal values and approach to life. Although Roberts did not attend Dan Blocker's funeral, this does not necessarily mean he did not mourn the loss of his former colleague. It is entirely possible that Roberts grieved in his own private way, away from the spotlight and media scrutiny. Roberts was known to be deeply reflective, and his decision not to attend the funeral could have been driven by personal grief rather than indifference. In some cases, individuals choose to avoid funerals because they find it too emotionally overwhelming or prefer to remember their loved ones in a more personal, introspective manner. Given the nature of their relationship and Roberts' general attitude towards Hollywood events, it is plausible that he wanted to honor Blocker in a way that felt more authentic to him, quietly, privately, and away from the fanfare. For Roberts, remembering the man rather than participating in a public display may have been his way of dealing with the loss. Dan Blocker's death marked a turning point for Bonanza and the remaining cast members. The show struggled to maintain its momentum without the character of Hoss, who had been a central figure in the Cartwright family. Despite this, the show continued for another season before finally ending in 1973. Blocker's passing had a profound impact on his co-stars, particularly Lorne Greene and Michael Landon, both of whom spoke publicly about the deep sense of loss they felt. For Roberts, the end of Bonanza was another reminder of the chapter he had left behind many years before, and his absence from Blocker's funeral symbolized the distance he had created between himself and that period of his life. Roberts continued to work in television and theater after Bonanza, but he never fully embraced the legacy of the show the way some of his co-stars did. His decision not to attend Blocker's funeral serves as a reflection of his broader disengagement from the Bonanza world, but it should not be seen as a sign of disrespect towards Blocker as a person. Instead, it highlights the complexity of human relationships and the many different ways people choose to cope with loss and grief. While Pernell Roberts' absence from Dan Blocker's funeral may have seemed puzzling to some, it was a decision rooted in his personal values, his complicated relationship with Bonanza, and his desire to handle grief in his own way. The bond between the two actors, though not always overt, was shaped by their shared experiences on one of television's most iconic series. Even in his absence, Roberts undoubtedly felt the impact of Blocker's death, just as fans and colleagues did.